So you've been on this ship for a while? Don't you want to show me a couple of cabins, huh?
It's midnight, and I'm fixing a leaky faucet in our cruise cabin while my wife Marissa laughs like a teenager on the pool deck below. The irony isn't lost on me. I paid $8,000 for this romantic getaway so she could tan, flirt, and drink overpriced mojitos while I play maintenance man in paradise. My name is David Baker, and I'm 52 years old. I build bridges for a living, solid structures that last decades. Too bad I couldn't engineer a marriage with the same durability. The laughter drifts up again, breathy and intimate. That's not her polite conversation with strangers laugh. That's her bedroom laugh, the one I haven't heard directed at me in about 3 years. I set down my wrench and step onto our balcony. The cruise ship Oceanic Dream cuts through dark Atlantic waters, all neon lights and artificial paradise. Below, the pool deck glows like a movie set, complete with tiki torches and a swim-up bar that charges $15 for a beer. Marissa sits at a corner table with a guy half her age, pool boy probably. Bleached hair, tribal tattoos, the kind of abs you get from a gym membership instead of real work. She's wearing the red dress I bought her for our anniversary, the one she claimed was too flashy when I suggested she wear it to dinner with me. Her hand rests on his forearm as she leans in close. Real close. Son of a witch, I mutter. My phone buzzes with a WhatsApp notification. I glance down and freeze. The message isn't for me. It's Marissa's phone, sitting on our nightstand where she left it to charge. Meet me at the pool tomorrow night. Can't wait to taste you again. The message disappears after 5 seconds, but I've seen enough. 24 years of marriage, and this is what I get. A cheating wife and a front row seat to my own humiliation. I grab my camera and zoom in on the pool deck. Click, click, click. The photos are grainy in the low light, but clear enough. Marissa's lips on his neck, his hands sliding down her back, her wedding ring catching the tiki torch flames as she runs her fingers through his hair. The next morning, I play it cool. Marissa returns to the cabin around 2 a.m., claiming she lost track of time chatting with some ladies from Ohio. She smells like coconut sunscreen and male cologne, but I don't say a word. At breakfast, she picks at her fruit salad and scrolls through Instagram. The Wi-Fi on this ship is terrible, she complains. My posts aren't uploading. Maybe that's for the best, I say. She looks up sharply. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing, just that sometimes it's good to live in the moment instead of documenting every second for social media. Her lawyer instincts kick in. She's been a family attorney for 15 years, specializing in high-conflict divorces. She knows how to read people, how to spot weakness, but she also knows how to lie. You're being weird, David. Are you feeling okay? Never better. That afternoon, I position myself at the pool bar with a beer and wait. Marissa appears around 3, wearing a tiny white bikini that probably cost more than most people's car payments. She settles into a lounge chair and orders a piña colada. The pool boy, his name tag reads Travis, brings her drink personally. Their fingers brush during the handoff. She giggles. He winks. I want to throw up. Instead, I walk over with my phone in hand, the photos ready to display. But as I approach their little love nest, surrounded by families with children, retirees playing cards, and teenagers taking selfies, a better idea strikes me. Why have a private confrontation when I can make this public? I wait until Travis leans down to whisper something in Marissa's ear. Then I grab a nearby deck chair and hurl it into the pool with a tremendous splash. The entire deck goes silent. 50 pairs of eyes turn toward me. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce, my voice carrying across the water, I'd like you to meet my wife Marissa and her new boyfriend Travis. Marissa's the one in the white bikini, you know, the one she bought with my credit card. And Travis here is the pool boy who's been providing some very personal service. Hope you all enjoyed the show, because I sure as hell paid for it. Marissa's face turns the color of her abandoned red dress. David, you're drunk. You're embarrassing yourself. Am I? Or am I just finally telling the truth? Travis stands up, all puffed chest and false bravado. Dude, you need to chill out. I step closer, close enough to smell his cheap cologne. You need to stay away from my wife. Or what? He smirks, playing to his audience of shocked tourists. I lean in and whisper something in his ear. Something about what happens to pretty boys who mess with other men's wives in the real world, away from cruise ship security and witnesses. Something about how I know exactly where he lives back in Fort Lauderdale, thanks to the crew roster I glimpsed while Marissa was flirting with the concierge. The smirk disappears. His face goes pale. That's what I thought, I say loud enough for everyone to hear. I turn and walk away. leaving behind a deck full of whispers, pointed fingers, and cell phone cameras. Marissa calls my name, but I don't look back. That evening, Travis doesn't show up for his shift, or the next day, or the day after that. By the time we dock in Miami, he's vanished completely, and somehow that becomes my fault too. You threatened him, Detective Martinez says, sliding a manila folder across the metal table. Multiple witnesses heard you tell Travis Kellerman to stay away from your wife. Then he disappears. You see how that looks? We're in an interrogation room at Miami-Dade Police Department, all fluorescent lights and institutional beige paint. I've been here for 6 hours, ever since cruise security handed me over to local law enforcement. I told him to back off, I admit. I didn't threaten to hurt him. What exactly did you whisper to him by the pool? I leaned back in the uncomfortable plastic chair. I told him I knew where he lived, that messing around with married women was a dangerous hobby. Sounds like a threat to me. Sounds like good advice to me. Martinez opens the folder and spreads out several photographs, the same ones I took of Marissa and Travis, except these came from other passengers' phones. The pool chair incident made quite an impression. Your wife says you've been violent before, controlling, that she was afraid to leave you. I laugh, but there's no humor in it. Marissa's rewriting history, Detective. She's a divorce attorney. She knows exactly what to say to make me look like the bad guy. So you're saying she's lying? I'm saying she's protecting herself. Travis disappeared because he got spooked, not because I hurt him. Check the crew quarters. Check his bank account. I guarantee you'll find he packed up and ran. Martinez closes the folder. We did check. His belongings are still in his cabin. His last paycheck is still in the cruise line's accounting system. His roommate says he never came back that night. A chill runs down my spine. What are you saying? I'm saying a 28-year-old man doesn't just vanish into thin air. Not without help. They release me 12 hours later for lack of evidence. But the damage is done. By the time I get home to our house in Coral Gables, the story has spread through Marissa's social circle like wildfire. My wife sits at our kitchen island still wearing her cruise clothes, surrounded by 3 of her closest friends, Linda Chen, her law partner, Rebecca Martinez, no relation to the detective, the queen bee of the neighborhood mom group, and Sarah Thompson, whose husband owns half the car dealerships in South Florida. They stop talking when I walk in. David. Marissa's voice is cold, formal. We need to discuss what happens next. What happens next is you pack your bags and get out of my house. Linda clears her throat. Actually, David, this is a marital home. Under Florida law, infidelity is still grounds for divorce, I interrupt. And I have photos. Photos of what? Rebecca asks. A conversation, a friendly drink? You can't prove anything inappropriate happened. I pull out my phone and show them the pictures. Marissa's face crumples, but her friends rally around her. This proves nothing, Sarah says. Just that Marissa was socializing on vacation. What it doesn't show is you threatening a young man who subsequently disappeared. You think I eliminated him? I think you scared him badly enough that he jumped overboard, Linda says, and now you're going to pay for it. Over the next week, I watch my life systematically dismantled. Marissa moves in with Linda for her safety. She files a restraining order claiming I've been physically and emotionally abusive throughout our marriage. She provides the court with sworn statements from her friends, all corroborating her story of living in fear. My engineering firm gets calls from concerned citizens who saw the news coverage of Travis's disappearance. 3 major clients cancel their contracts. My business partner, Jim Rodriguez, suggests I take a leave of absence until this blows over. My daughter Sophie, home from college for summer break, won't speak to me. She's posted several TikTok videos about toxic masculinity and controlling fathers, though she never mentions me by name. The comments section is brutal. My son Eli takes my side, which only makes things worse. He's 22, fresh out of college, and works as a personal trainer at a local gym. He's also an amateur boxer with a short fuse and his father's protective instincts. Dad, this is BS, he says over dinner at a sports bar near his apartment. Mom's been cold to you for years. Everyone could see it. Your sister doesn't see it that way. Sophie's 19 and thinks the world revolves around her Instagram feed. She doesn't know anything about real relationships. I take a long pull from my beer. Maybe your mother's right. Maybe I am controlling. Maybe I did drive that kid to jump off the ship. Bees, you're not a butcher, Dad. You're not even mean. You build bridges, for Christ's sake. You help people get from one place to another. That's when I realize Eli's right about one thing. I do help people get from one place to another. And right now, I need to get from being the sufferer to being something else entirely. The transformation starts at Ray's boxing gym, a rundown place in Little Havana where Eli trains. Ray Gonzalez is an old friend from my construction days, back when I was swinging a hammer instead of reviewing blueprints. He's 60 years old, built like a fire hydrant, and has never met a problem he couldn't solve with his fists or his mouth. "Your wife's a piece of work," he says, wrapping my hands before we hit the heavy bag. "Always thought she was too good for you." "Thanks for the pep talk, Ray. I'm serious. She came to my nephew's wedding 5 years ago, remember? Spent the whole time checking her phone and complaining about the food. Made some comment about blue-collar people and their simple pleasures. I hadn't remembered that, but it sounds like Marissa. Everything below her social class was either quaint or distasteful, depending on her mood. The thing is," Ray continues, "women like that, they think they're untouchable. They think their money and their fancy friends make them bulletproof. But everybody's got secrets, Dave. Everybody's got something they don't want the world to see." That night, I start digging. I begin with Travis Kellerman's social media profiles. The cruise lines scrubbed his employment records, but the internet is forever. His Instagram shows a pattern: expensive clothes, flashy jewelry, photos from high-end restaurants and exclusive clubs, all on a pool boy's salary. His Facebook friends include several older women, all well-dressed, all married. The comments on his photos are telling: "Looking good, honey. Miss you already. Can't wait to see you again." Travis wasn't just a pool boy, he was running a side business. I dig deeper, using my engineering background to approach the problem systematically. Credit reports, public record for employment verification. Property records. His Fort Lauderdale address is a luxury condo, not crew housing. Vehicle registration, a brand new Mustang convertible. The picture that emerges is of a man living well beyond his means, funded by sources that don't appear on any legitimate payroll. Then I find the connection that changes everything. Linda Chen, Marissa's law partner and best friend, owns the condo where Travis lived. The revelation hits me like a punch to the gut. I'm sitting in my home office at 3 a.m, surrounded by printouts and laptop screens, when I cross-reference the property records with Linda's real estate holdings. She owns 12 rental properties in South Florida, all high-end condos and townhouses. Travis's address matches one of them, a 2-bedroom unit in a luxury complex with a marina view, renting for $4,000 a month. No way a cruise ship pool boy affords that on his legitimate salary. I lean back in my chair and stare at the ceiling. Linda Chen has been Marissa's law partner for 8 years. They handle divorce cases together, often representing wealthy wives looking to maximize their settlements. They know every trick in the book for hiding assets, manipulating narratives, and destroying reputations. What if Travis wasn't just sleeping with my wife? What if he was part of a bigger operation? The next morning, I drive to Travis's condo complex. It's the kind of place that screams new money. All glass and steel with a doorman who looks like he bench presses Buicks for fun. "I'm looking for Travis Kellerman," I tell him. "I'm his uncle." The doorman, his name tag reads Miguel, shakes his head. "Haven't seen him in over a week, man. His rent's due tomorrow, and the property manager's been asking questions." "What kind of questions?" "Whether he moved out, left any forwarding address. Dude just vanished, left his car in the garage and everything." I feel a chill. "His car's still here?" "Yeah, the red Mustang. Building management's talking about having it towed." Miguel leads me to the parking garage. Travis's car sits in spot 247, covered in a thin layer of dust. I peer through the windows and see nothing unusual. Gym bag in the back seat, sunglasses on the dashboard, air freshener hanging from the rear view mirror. But when I walk around to the driver's side, I notice something odd. The door isn't quite closed. It's unlocked, like someone left in a hurry. I glance around the garage, then quickly open the door and check the glove compartment. Registration, insurance card, and a folded piece of paper with an address written in feminine handwriting. The address belongs to a storage facility in Homestead, about 30 miles south. That afternoon, I drive to U-Store It, a sprawling complex of metal buildings surrounded by chain-link fence. The office is a double-wide trailer with bars on the windows and a sign advertising climate-controlled units available. "I'm looking for unit information," I tell the clerk, a heavily tattooed woman in her 40s. "My nephew rented space here, Travis Kellerman." She types on her computer. "Yeah, unit 247. Paid up through the end of the month. You got ID? You on the authorized list?" Actually, I'm trying to locate him. He's been missing for over a week. Her expression softens. Oh, crap, really? He seemed like a nice kid. Real polite, always called me ma'am. When did you last see him? Maybe 2 weeks ago. He came by with some woman, older, real fancy. They loaded a bunch of stuff into his unit. My pulse quickens. What did the woman look like? Professional type, dark hair, expensive clothes, drove a white BMW SUV. Marissa drives a white BMW X5. Did you see what they stored? Boxes mostly, some electronics. Looked like someone was moving house, you know? I thank her and drive home, my mind racing. Whatever Travis was involved in, Marissa was part of it. And now he's disappeared, leaving behind a trail of expensive tastes and mysterious storage units. That evening, Eli comes over for dinner. I cook steaks on the grill while he drinks beer and complains about his latest girlfriend. She wants to move in together, he says it would be more economical. I think she just wants to split the rent. Smart woman. Your mother and I should have stayed roommates instead of getting married. He laughs, then grows serious. Dad, you okay? You seem different lately. More, I don't know, focused. I flip the steaks and consider my words carefully. I'm learning things about your mother that I wish I didn't know. Like what? I tell him about Linda's condo, Travis's expensive lifestyle, and the storage unit. Eli listens without interrupting, his expression growing darker with each detail. So you think Mom and Linda were running some kind of scam with this Travis guy? I think Travis was blackmailing married women, and your mother got caught up in it. Maybe as a sufferer, maybe as a partner. And now he's gone. Now he's gone. Eli stands up and starts pacing. We need to get into that storage unit. That's breaking and entering. Not if we have permission from the renter. Travis isn't exactly available for permission, but his emergency contact might be. The next day, Eli calls the storage facility, pretending to be Travis's cousin. He explains that Travis is in the hospital, not technically a lie, we don't know where he is, and the family needs access to his belongings. The clerk, the same woman I spoke with, asks for the emergency contact to come in with ID and sign a release form. According to their records, Travis's emergency contact is Linda Chen. That evening, I sit in my car outside Linda's law office, watching her through the floor-to-ceiling windows. She's working late, as usual, probably billing some poor bastard $300 an hour to destroy his life in family court. My phone rings. It's Ray from the gym. Dave, you need to get down here, now. What's wrong? Just get here and bring Eli. I pick up my son and drive to Little Havana. Ray's boxing gym occupies the ground floor of a converted warehouse, wedged between a Cuban restaurant and a tire shop. The neon sign flickers intermittently, casting red shadows on the cracked sidewalk. Inside, Ray waits with two other men I recognize from the gym, Carlos, a retired cop, and Tommy, who owns a bail bonds company. We got a problem, Ray says without preamble. Word on the street is your wife's friends are looking to cause you some serious trouble. What kind of trouble? Carlos speaks up. I still got contacts in the department. They're saying Linda Chen hired a private investigator to dig up dirt on you, looking for anything they can use to make the homicide charges stick. Homicide charges? Travis isn't dead. He just disappeared. Try telling that to the DA's office. They're under pressure to solve this thing, and you're the only suspect they got. Tommy nods. My sources say they're planning to arrest you within the week. Circumstantial evidence, but enough for an indictment. Once you're in the system, they can hold you for months while they build their case. I feel the walls closing in. So what do you suggest? Ray cracks his knuckles. We suggest you stop playing defense and start playing offense. These witches want a war. Let's give them one. That's when I realize my transformation is complete. I'm no longer David Baker, the betrayed husband trying to save his marriage. I'm no longer the sufferer of my wife's betrayal and her friend's conspiracy. I'm the villain in their story now. And villains don't play by the rules. The plan comes together over the next 3 days, fueled by rage and Ray's surprisingly devious tactical mind. We're going to hit them where it hurts most, their reputations, their social standing, and their carefully constructed lies. These women think they're untouchable because they got money and connections, Ray explains as we sit in his office above the gym. But rich people got the most to lose when their dirty laundry gets aired. Step 1. I hire my own private investigator, a former cop named Maria Santos, who specializes in insurance fraud and domestic cases. She's expensive, but I liquidate my retirement account to pay her retainer. I need everything you can find on Linda Chen, Rebecca Martinez, and Sarah Thompson, I tell her. Financial records, property holdings, client lists, personal relationships, everything. That's a lot of ground to cover. What am I looking for specifically? Anything that doesn't add up. These women have been covering for each other for years. There's got to be something they don't want exposed. Step 2. Eli starts following them. Not stalking, just documenting their daily routines, who they meet with, where they go. He's young and athletic, good at blending into crowds, and he's got his father's methodical approach to problem solving. Mom meets with Linda every Tuesday at that fancy coffee place on Miracle Mile, he reports. They always sit at the same table, always order the same drinks. Rebecca shows up about half the time. What do they talk about? Can't get close enough to hear without being obvious, but they're definitely planning something. Lots of serious conversation, lots of checking their phones. Step 3. I start my own social media campaign. Nothing obvious or traceable back to me, but I create anonymous accounts on Facebook and Instagram and begin posting in the local community groups. Has anyone else noticed how many of Linda Chen's divorce clients end up with unusually favorable settlements? Makes you wonder what kind of evidence she helps them find. Interesting how Rebecca Martinez always knows everyone's business before it happens, almost like she's got inside information. Sarah Thompson's husband sure buys a lot of cars from his own dealerships. Great way to move money around without paying taxes. The posts get traction. People love gossip, especially about wealthy women who think they're better than everyone else. The comments sections fill with speculation, rumors, and half-remembered stories about the three women's past behavior. But it's Maria Santos who finds the smoking tool. Linda Chen has been moving a lot of money through her client trust account, she reports during our meeting at a diner in Homestead. More than her legitimate caseload would justify. She slides a manila envelope across the table. Inside are bank statements, wire transfer records, and copies of suspicious transactions. She's been receiving regular payments from an offshore account in the Cayman Islands, $5,000 a month for the past 2 years. Then she turns around and pays it out to various individuals, always in cash, always under the $10,000 reporting threshold. Money laundering? That's my guess, but for who and why? I study the documents. One name appears repeatedly in the cash withdrawal records, T. Kellerman. Travis was getting paid, I realize. This wasn't just about sleeping with married women, he was being paid to do it. Paid by who? That's when the final piece clicks into place. By the husbands. Maria raises an eyebrow. Come again? Think about it. Wealthy men who want to divorce their wives, but don't want to pay massive settlements. They hire someone like Travis to seduce their wives, create evidence of infidelity, then use that evidence to reduce or eliminate alimony payments. That's actually brilliant and completely illegal. Linda provides the legal expertise, Travis provides the seduction, and everyone splits the money saved on divorce settlements. It's a perfect scam. Except something went wrong with your wife. I nod grimly. Marissa wasn't supposed to be a sufferer. She was supposed to be a partner. But Travis got greedy, or she got careless, and I found out about the affair. So they made Travis disappear to protect the operation. And now they're trying to frame me for his homicide to keep me from exposing them. That evening, a hurricane warning is issued for South Florida. Hurricane Isabel, a Category 3 storm, is expected to make landfall within 48 hours. The news shows long lines at gas stations, empty shelves at grocery stores, and traffic jams as people evacuate the coastal areas. I see opportunity in the chaos. Eli and I drive to the marina where Linda keeps her yacht, a 40-foot cigarette boat named Legal Eagle. The storm surge is expected to reach 15 feet, which means most of the boats will be moved to inland storage or taken north to safer harbors. But Linda's boat is still in its slip, covered by a tarp and secured with extra lines. She's not evacuating it, Eli observes. Because she can't, I realize. There's something on that boat she doesn't want anyone else to see. We wait until dark, then use bolt cutters to get through the marina's fence. The security guard is busy helping boat owners secure their vessels, and the approaching storm provides perfect cover for our activities. The yacht's cabin is locked, but Eli learned a few tricks during his rebellious teenage years. Within 5 minutes, we're inside. The main cabin looks normal. Expensive furniture, well-stocked bar, navigation equipment. But when we check the forward berth, we find something interesting. A waterproof case containing documents, USB drives, and several cell phones. Jesus Christ, Eli whispers, scrolling through one of the phones. Dad, look at this. The phone contains hundreds of photos and videos. married women in compromising positions, intimate text messages, recorded phone conversations. It's a blackmail treasure trove. But the USB drives contain something even more damaging. Financial records showing payments to Travis from dozens of different sources, all routed through Linda's trust account. This isn't just about divorce scams, I realize. They've been blackmailing these women for years. One folder on the drive is labeled M. Baker. Inside are photos of Marissa and Travis, bank records showing her payments to Linda, and a detailed dossier of our marriage, including my daily routines, business relationships, and personal vulnerabilities. At the bottom of the file is a document titled Exit Strategy TK. I open it and feel my blood turn to ice. The document outlines a plan to eliminate Travis Kellerman by faking his passing and providing him with a new identity. The plan includes staging his disappearance from the cruise ship, planning evidence to implicate me in his homicide, and relocating him to Costa Rica with $50,000 in cash. The plan is signed by Linda Chen and dated 3 days before our cruise. They played me, I say, my voice barely above a whisper. The whole thing was a setup. Marissa's affair, Travis's disappearance, my arrest, all of it was planned. But why? I think about the financial records Maria found, the pattern of payments, the systematic blackmail operation. Because I was getting too close to the truth. Marissa must have told Linda about my suspicions and they decided to eliminate the threat. So Travis is alive? Travis is sipping pina coladas in San Jose while I'm about to be arrested for his homicide. That's when the lights go out. Hurricane Isabel has arrived. The storm hits Miami like a freight train made of wind and water. By morning, half the city is without power. Trees are down across every major road, and the news is calling it the worst hurricane to hit South Florida in 20 years. Perfect conditions for a reckoning. I spend the day after the storm making phone calls and sending emails to Maria Santos, asking her to compile everything we've found into a comprehensive report. To a journalist at the Miami Herald, who's been covering corruption in the local legal community, to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division, but most importantly, to Rebecca Martinez. Rebecca, it's David Baker. I know you and the other ladies are planning something, and I want to make you an offer. Her voice is cold, suspicious. What kind of offer? I want to end this peacefully. I'm willing to accept responsibility for Travis's disappearance if you and your friends leave my family alone. You're admitting you eliminated him? I'm admitting I scared him enough that he ran away. Maybe jumped off the ship, maybe just disappeared. Either way, I'll take responsibility if you stop this campaign to destroy my life. There's a long pause. What exactly are you proposing? A meeting, tonight, somewhere neutral where we can work out the details. Where? I give her the address of a waterfront restaurant in Coconut Grove, one of the few places that reopened after the storm. 8 o'clock, just you, Linda, Sarah, and Marissa. No lawyers, no private investigators, no recording devices, just the 5 of us working out a deal. And if we refuse, then I go to the FBI with everything I've found about your little blackmail operation. Another long pause. You're bluffing. Try me. That evening, I arrive at the restaurant 30 minutes early. The place is nearly empty. Most of Miami is still cleaning up storm damage, and few people are in the mood for overpriced seafood and waterfront views. I choose a table on the outdoor deck, overlooking Biscayne Bay. The storm has passed, but the water is still choppy, full of debris and foam. Streetlights reflect off the dark surface like fallen stars. Eli sits at the bar inside, nursing a beer and keeping watch. Ray is parked across the street in his pickup truck, just in case things go sideways. At 8:15, they arrive together. Marissa, Linda, Rebecca, and Sarah, all dressed like they're attending a funeral, which, in a way, they are. Marissa sits across from me, avoiding eye contact. She looks older somehow, worn down by the stress of the past few weeks. The other 3 arrange themselves like bodyguards, creating a barrier between her and me. You look tired, I tell my wife. You look like hell, she replies. Linda takes charge as usual. Let's skip the pleasantries, David. What do you want? I pull out my phone and place it on the table. I want to show you something interesting I found on a certain yacht during the storm. Their faces go pale as I scroll through the photos from Travis's phone, images of each of them in compromising positions, financial records showing their involvement in the blackmail scheme, and finally, the exit strategy document with Linda's signature. Travis isn't dead, I announce. He's in Costa Rica, living off the $50,000 you paid him to disappear and frame me for his homicide. Sarah starts to stand up. We don't have to listen to this. Sit down, I say quietly. Unless you want everyone in Miami to see these photos. She sits. Here's what's going to happen, I continue. You're going to call off your private investigator. You're going to withdraw the restraining order. You're going to stop spreading rumors about me being violent or dangerous. And you're going to give me an uncontested divorce with a fair division of assets. And if we don't, Linda asks, then I release everything to the FBI, the Miami Herald, and every social media platform I can find. Your blackmail operation gets exposed, your law licenses get revoked, and you all spend the next 5 to 10 years in federal prison. You can't prove any of this, Rebecca says, but her voice lacks conviction. I smile for the first time in weeks. Actually, I can. Maria Santos is a very thorough investigator. She's documented every transaction, every payment, every suspicious activity going back 3 years. The FBI already has copies of everything. That's not entirely true. I haven't contacted the FBI yet, but they don't need to know that. You bastard, Marissa whispers. You've been planning this the whole time. No, sweetheart, you've been planning this the whole time. I just figured it out before you could destroy me completely. Linda tries one last gambit. Even if Travis is alive, you still threatened him. You still caused his disappearance. I told him to stay away from my wife. That's not a crime. But blackmail, money laundering, and filing false police reports, those are crimes. I stand up and pocket my phone. You have 24 hours to decide. Call off the dogs or face the consequences. I start to walk away, then turn back. Oh, and ladies, next time you want to destroy someone's life, make sure they don't know how to build things back up. The next morning, I get a call from Detective Martinez. Baker, we're closing the Travis Kellerman case. New evidence suggests he left the cruise ship voluntarily and is alive and well in Central America. What kind of evidence? The kind that makes my superiors want to forget this whole mess ever happened. Consider yourself lucky. That afternoon, Marissa calls. I'll sign the divorce papers, she says. 50-50 split of assets, no alimony, no custody dispute over the kids. Smart choice. I want you to know I never meant for it to go this far. The thing with Travis, it was supposed to be just a fling, something to make me feel young again. But it turned into something bigger. Linda convinced me we could make money from it. Use Travis to gather information on other women, then blackmail them. It seemed like easy money. Until I found out. Until you found out. There's a long pause. David? I'm sorry for all of it. I know you are, Marissa. But sorry doesn't fix 24 years of marriage. No, I guess it doesn't. 6 months later, I'm sitting on the deck of my new condo in Key Largo, watching the sunset over the Gulf of Mexico. The divorce is finalized, my business is recovering, and I've started dating a woman named Janet who owns a bookstore in Isla Mirada. Eli stops by every weekend. Sophie still won't speak to me, but I'm hopeful that will change with time. Linda Chen was disbarred and sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for money laundering and conspiracy to commit blackmail. Rebecca Martinez moved to North Carolina to live with her sister. Sarah Thompson's husband divorced her and kept the car dealerships. And Travis Kellerman. He was arrested in Costa Rica 6 months later, trying to run the same scam on wealthy American expats. Turns out paradise gets boring when you're looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. As for me, I'm building again. Not bridges this time, but a new life. One that doesn't include cheating wives, blackmail schemes, or hurricanes. Though I have to admit, I'm pretty good at playing the villain when the situation calls for it. Sometimes the bad guys win. Sometimes the good guys become the bad guys. And sometimes that's exactly what justice looks like.